Okay, so David S. Goyer reveals collaboration with David Fincher on Blade movie pitch.
We would never be so lucky, ever.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
David Goyer has an interesting history with comics, some good stuff, some stuff. But way back when, scriptwriter David S. Goyer speaks out about his experience on working the Blade trilogy. Yeah, he did the Blade trilogy. So first one, good. Second one, good. Third one, fucking terrible. Which included a very involved collaborative effort with David Fincher on an initial script. One of Goyer's earlier credits involved pen work on the Blade script. He eventually wrote the screenplay for the trilogy and even helmed Blade Trinity as a second director. Goyer revealed in a Happy Sad Confused interview his work on Blade involved David Fincher, whose contribution to the screenplay was so detailed that it heavily guided the revised and final scripts. Goyer also noted that what projects Fincher worked on when the Blade pitch was developed, which puts the timeline into perspective and may have endangered the completion of another classic film, Fight Club, maybe? Or Seven? I developed a draft with Fincher before he had done Seven, and I think he had done Alien 3, and maybe he was developing Seven. I developed a draft with him. I remember going out to our producer's office. There was a giant conference table. Fincher laid out 40 to 50 books of photography and art with post-it notes inside them.
Wow.
He said, "This is the movie." He took us on a two-hour tour around the table with the aesthetics of the scenes, that character. It was fully fleshed out visual pitch. I'd never seen something like that before. A lot of that thinking infused my further revisions. And then he goes on to complain about Blade Trinity. Goyer asserted his collaboration with Fincher became a fundamental reference for his creative decisions. That being said, he recounted his eventual work on Blade Trinity as incredibly fraught experience. This is in reference to the production difficulties encountered with the project, were due in part to Wesley Snipes' run-ins with the IRS. All this stuff was happening right as we started. That's all I'll say about it for now, but it was a mess. Patton Oswalt has a good story about Blade Trinity production because he was in it.
I have a Wesley Snipes story.
Do you? How do you?
Yeah.
What's your story?
It's kind of a combo, which is so fucking insane.
Okay.
Like, it's crazy. But to try to make it as short as possible.
Yeah.
A good friend of mine is a comedian and also a well-known dancer.
Okay.
I guess you could say professionally, not scandally, which are both perfectly fine.
Admiral jobs.
Anyway, so he made a joke on Twitter.
Wesley Snipes did.
No, my friend did, the comedian.
Okay, the comedian did, okay.
And he, of course, made the joke and tagged Wesley. It was an IRS joke. It was a tax joke. It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I laughed.
Yeah.
He immediately got blocked.
Sure. As you do.
But Wesley did reply, and he said something to the effect of, "You don't know what you're talking about, motherfucker." Like, whatever. Yeah, sure. Fast forward, I think it was like a year later or something. And this is way back, man. This is like 2013.
So after he got out of jail.
Yeah, 2014 or something. He was working on a movie in Toronto.
Yeah.
And he decided, or whatever, that...
Track this motherfucker down and made a joke about me.
No, not at all, dude. It was way more coincidence than that. Somebody told him that the happening place on a Wednesday was our hip-hop party that we did at Sneaky D's.
Okay.
And, of course, a regular at that night was my friend, who was the comedian / dancer.
Right.
And, man, he rolled in, and he couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Because we got the heads up as we walked in.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So, and of course, the place that he chose to sat down was right behind the door desk. Right. So like people walked in, they paid, and they immediately looked over and saw Wesley and his giant bodyguard just sipping cocktails.
Right.
So people were walking over, they were getting photos.
Oh, he was nice enough about that then?
Oh, he was not about it. I think he let like 2 or 3 through, 2 of them being extremely hot girls.
Of course.
One of them being a dude.
Yeah.
And then, of course, my friend eventually did muster up the cojones and asked him for a photo, but didn't say, obviously, that it was him that made the joke.
Oh, pussy.
Yeah, well, yeah, we try to keep it PC. So. Oh, man, it was so good. It was crazy, too, because it was so unexpected. Like, we walked into that, and it was nuts.
The things that happen in Toronto.
Yeah, crazy, dude.